Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. For our customers with big warm blood horses or just big oversized horses, we get a lot of demand for, extra wide, extra tall trailers, especially the tall part of it. We understand these horses are good size. You get in that 17 hand plus, and they just need a little bit more trailer in order to accommodate them and make them comfortable. You can always put a small horse in a big trailer, tall trailer anyways, but can't, a tall horse in a short trailer. It just doesn't work that way. So, our warm blood models have become extremely popular sellers for us over the last couple of years. And this one here is a bumper pull version of it. So this is a 2-horse straight load. This is a 2021 Cimarron. Again, it's a warm blood model. So we're looking at 7'7" tall. It's the straight load. It's 6'10" wide. So we're not going to have any wheel wells on the inside of the trailer. And then if you go from true nose to tail on this trailer, it's 18.3. So that's from the actual bumper hitch itself to the back of this trailer. The actual box itself is 15.3 back. So you do have that a little bit extra length as far as the actual the bumper pull hitch itself. But here at Transwest, when we order Cimarrons, we always use the example of these are like fingerprints. There is nothing standard on these trailers. We always go in and add options to them, making them very unique, making them very functional for you. A lot of nice features that really you're going to enjoy when you're using this trailer. So a couple of things I'll show you as we work our way through. I'll point out some of the standard features on this model, but then I'll kind of show you some of the add-ons that we've done to these. So first and foremost, you have a front dressing room on this trailer. Nice heavy-duty door. Cimarron makes a nice big frame door. This is framework between the window and the door. It's square at the top, meaning it is built at the factory. It's not a prefab door. If it's rounded at the top, that's prefab. It's almost like a piece of paper in your hand. So a lot stouter door that Cimarron puts on these. Then if you get into the tack area itself, we've got a recessed post kind of over there on driver's side. You've got 2 blanket poles and then 2 saddle pads. Now all those are adjustable. So if you needed to add more on, whether it's more pads, more blanket poles, you want to change the order they're in, or you want to space them out, move them closer together, up or down, everything can be done basically by just taking, a crescent wrench or a wrench itself, loosening these nuts up here, sliding them up and down, slide them out from the top, add more, and then just going in and retightening them. And then from there, they're secure. Over here in this corner, we put some carpet, and then we put you 6 hooks down low, and then 6 up high. Now those are aluminum, and they're powder coated. So these are nice, heavy-duty, stout bridle hooks here for you. And Cimarron's actually gone in and developed these, so they're a lot deeper. And there's a little bit more depth here too as you kind of work your way back to the wall. So, on kind of some older style bridle hooks out there that are just kind of more of a pre-made type of a scenario that a lot of manufacturers put on there. You don't have that depth there. So yeah, it works maybe for a certain bridle, but if you're throwing halters or something like that in there that's got a lot more stuff to it, those had the tendency to fall off. Because you don't have that depth there. So that's something that Cimarron's gone in and developed. We've gone in and added this window here, which, you see the jail bars on the inside there of the stall area. But this is kind of nice because as you're in transit, a lot of times you can stop and hop in this tack room and just peek on your horses, make sure they're doing good. You can look down into their feed bags that we added into this trailer as well when we get in there. I'll show you those. But this is a window, and people really like this option here, just to be able to kind of peek in there and see what's going on with their horses. Another add-on that we did to this is going to be this fold-up step here. So it just makes it really nice and easy hopping in and out of this trailer because this step, you go flat-footed from the ground up to here. It's just a nice, smoother, easier transaction, especially when you're hauling saddles, any type of tack, if you've got some totes, anything like that, setting them in there, it's a lot easier to do. Here's a good view. So standard on these trailers is going to have these access doors on each side. But what I want to show you is one of those add-ons that we put on this. So again, standard's going to have this door, but it's just going to have a sliding bus window. And what we've gone in and done on each side is add these fold down feed doors. You're able to get a lot more airflow into the horses by having this drop down rather than just the bus window, because you have to understand that on these bus windows, only half of them slide open, so you're really only getting air through half of this window here. But now that I've got this drop down, now we get a lot more airflow through there. Again, I can kind of peek in here and say, hey, you know what, I want to throw some extra feed in there for them. I can set these jail bars down, access that feed bag. You can do about anything in here, but you know, this is really handy from the standpoint of being able to just get that airflow into the horses, being able to access everything, but also loading and unloading, because what you can do is, since this is a straight load, you can bring your horses in, get them loaded, and you can literally step out of here, because we've got these, and I'll show you when we get to the inside too, there's chest bars on each side. So again, you can duck underneath them or put them in place, and then you step out safely away from the horses as well. I'll open up this Dutch door to show you as well, but look at the massive size of that bus window over the hip of the horse. Again, half of it's going to open, so this back half will slide across, but man, that just gives you a lot more airflow through these trailers. And the other cool thing is on these Dutch doors on the back, if you want to, you can open them up and secure them and go down the road. So you can have the rear ramp up, but also have a lot more airflow through here. Again, you can create a vacuum through here. The best example is you know, you outside on a 95-degree day on asphalt with no wind. It is miserable. But if you get a little bit of a breeze, boy, it makes you feel a lot better. And the horses are going to be the same way. If we can create that airflow, or if you're getting to a show or waiting, stuck in traffic, you know, you have that dead air. If you can open it up and get a lot more airflow through the trailer, it's just going to help them be a lot more comfortable. So add-ons out here, we put you a load light, kind of just behind that access door, but kind of center of the trailer itself. And then there's one on the other side as well. We want you to have some lighting. You know, if you are doing anything at nighttime in the dark, it's nice to have some light. There's light in the back as well. But you've got your tie hooks right here, so if you are needing to tack up or anything, you have that light directly above you. What I also want to talk about is wheels and tires. So wheels and tires are extremely important when it comes to transporting your animals down the road. So what Cimarron's done is they've teamed up with a vendor by the name of Lion's Head. They've gone in, they buy their wheels and tires from them. These are balanced tires. These are also nitrogen filled. So that's where you see that green tab. That green tab is the indicator for nitrogen filled tires. And why that's important is because we're not going to have PSI levels fluctuating drastically. When that happens, tires can heat up and cause them blowouts, you stuck on the side of the road. So by having these nitrogen filled, it's just going to allow you to go down the road. You should always check your PSI levels before you leave anyway. That's kind of a last step that we do before we pull out the driveway, because hey, I'd rather stop and realize I got an issue before I leave, rather than down the road having an issue. And that way, if I've got a slow leak or something, I'm aware of it, or something's a little bit lower, I can actually go put air to it. So if these nitrogen filled tires, if one of them is low for some reason, you can put air to these. You can go to a normal air compressor and get your PSI level where it needs to be. But then later on, you can find a tire company, you know, a store that does a lot of wheels and tires. A lot of them have gone to the nitrogen filled, so you can get that as well. And they stand behind these tires and wheels. So you have lifetime warranty on the wheels. You have a 1-year no questions asked warranty on the tires. If you do have a blowout, if you do catch a nail, can't be patched, they'll send you a new tire. Then you also have 2 years of roadside, so if you do get in a jam, you know, it's 5 p.m. on I-25 traffic north of Denver here. We know how busy it can be. It's pretty nice to be able to call somebody and have them come and do it if you need to. If you do have an issue where you have a blowout and it tears up this fender, or you catch this fender on something and needs to be replaced, that is a bolt-on fender. You can see those bolts underneath there. So if you have to swap these out, it's going to be less time consuming, which is going to save you on labor from the standpoint of how long it takes to swap this out, because weld-on fenders you got to cut off, put the new one on, have them welded on. It just takes a lot more time to go through those type of scenarios, and costs you more money in the long run. So here at the back of the trailer, again, I've got those Dutch doors open, I've got them swung around, and then we've got our rear ramp set down. So that is the back opening of this trailer. So this ramp is built in as the back of the trailer, and then your Dutch doors above it. This ramp is very, very easy. It's got big springs Cimarron's put on there, so as this goes up, I can let go, and those springs actually suck the ramp into the trailer. So this isn't, you know, you don't have to be a weightlifter or anything like that to get this up and down. It's very, very easy to use. But then also, these trailers here, we're also seeing a lot of people using them for dual purpose. So maybe somebody's got horses in the family and somebody else has some toys. Or, hey, it's really handy to run the lawnmower somewhere because I've got a ramp and I can remove all the inside of this trailer if I need to. So you can basically have a dual purpose trailer. So we're seeing a lot of that. It's becoming really popular for that reason. But as you can see, with this height, this warm blood, this straight load setup, this is a very, very comfortable and good setup right here. You've got your butt bars with bolster pads on them. I can slide them out of the way, and then this divider does swing as well. So if I kind of want to swing it out of the way, just to give it a little bit more room for that one individual that maybe doesn't like the little bit tighter area of loading, you can swing that out of the way, get them loaded. It sets on this big heavy UHMW piece, and then you put your butt bars back across, and then it secures this in place. But again, this whole thing can be removed if you wanted to open up this entire area. As we get in here, you'll notice LED lights. So again, we want plenty of light coverage. The exterior and interior are completely different switches, and then every exterior light's on its own switch too. So you can basically put on the light that you want to, whichever side of the trailer, have them all on, just the stall area, just the outside, whatever you want. Those are nice OptiBrite LED lights. They put out a lot of light coverage. You've got two-way roof vents at the front of each stall. So again, by all these drop windows, bus windows, the rear Dutch doors, your two-way roof vents, you can again manipulate airflow quite a bit and get a lot of air movement through this trailer. So a couple of the add-ons we've done in here is these bolster pads on the chest bars and on the butt bars. We added those. We went and added just some nice big feed bags. Got a little water in there from washing out this morning, but we can dump that out very, very easily. And then you can actually take those up front and store them in your tack room if you're not using them. And then you've got pads on the divider. We've gone in and added those as well. But again, for those customers with big warm blood horses that need a little bit more space, these trailers have become the go-to. You know, in our goosenecks, it's a 2+1. We've done some straight load 2-horse goosenecks. We've done some 2+1 setups and a bumper pull as well. But as you can see, boy, they just accommodate horses extremely well with that extra height and in the construction of this trailer. And then I haven't really got into the actual construction. On a Cimarron, you have a 12-inch deck that's 4-inch centers. So the best way to tell quality of a trailer, in my opinion, is crawl underneath it first and foremost. And you're going to see those centers every 4 inches apart, and there's a V truss in the middle of each one of those 12-inch decks. So imagine hoof size of a horse. You have a support beam wherever your horse is standing. You take care of that floor, and it will have the longevity. This trailer will last you forever if you take care of it. And by taking care of it, I mean once, twice a year at least. Pull these mats out, power wash it completely, let it dry. Go get you baking soda. I always feel like I need double the baking soda from what my eyes tell me. And the reason why is we're going to sprinkle that baking soda down on the floor, and then we're going to put our mats back in there. And that will counteract the acidity of the urine. But that floor will last you. I mean, that is you cannot buy a better floor on a horse trailer in today's market. Cimarron has it. And then also on top of it, we were talking about keeping the horses nice and cool and comfortable. On every Cimarron, you get a insulated roof. That is a standard option. A lot of manufacturers, you have to go in and add that option into them. For Cimarron, it's standard. So that is going to keep your horses so much cooler. It's about 20% cooler than an aluminum sheeted roof. Circling back around to that 95-degree weather out here on this asphalt in the summertime, I will take you to an aluminum sheeted trailer and on the roof, and you'll feel the heat inside. And then when I walk you over to the same Cimarron with that insulated roof, it is night and day difference. It is amazing what that roof does. And it will take substantial hail. I can walk on those roofs, it won't dent them. Right up above, here's another one of those LED load lights. So again, we put them on all 3 sides of this trailer. Over here on the driver's side, again, I got that Dutch door wrapped around and locked into place. Again, you can go down the road that way if you'd like. We've got the drop window down here. And these guys are really, really stout. This is another thing when it comes to prefab items. This is a framed window by Cimarron, so this is built at the factory. Some manufacturers, some trailers will just have a window with almost like a black framing around it. And I can literally take it in my hand and really not even grab it and put pressure on it. I mean, I can wiggle my fingers and the whole window will shake. It's got piano style hinges on it. They're really lightweight. These trailers here, the way that Cimarron's constructed these, I wouldn't attempt to do that on a prefab window. It would break. But with these welded hinges with grease zerks and that framing, you know, these guys are built stout and they're built to last. The other nice thing is every one of these door latches, tack door, ramp, latch, everything's keyed alike. So there's one key that can lock up this entire trailer. You don't have to go look for multiple keys. One for the tack, one for the stall area, anything like that. But these trailers can be pulled with, you know, we've got quite a few customers that pull them with half-ton pickups, you know, something along the lines of an SUV in a Yukon. We've got some customers pulling them in Range Rovers. You know, this is a trailer that's not extremely heavy and can be towed by something in that size. So again, there's a lot of standard options that Cimarron's done to really make this trailer very well equipped. But again, here at Transwest, we like to go in and put a few extras on there. There's other things that we can always add to these trailers after the fact, but we feel like some of the options we put on here really add a lot of value to this trailer. You're really going to enjoy it, and it's so much easier and so much more cost effective for us to do these options now than after the fact. But if you have any interest in this trailer, you can give anybody on the sales team a call. For reference, again, this is a 2021 Cimarron 2-horse warm blood straight load. The stock number is 5N201169. But anybody on the sales team can help you out. 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.